Hello, everyone. Welcome to KATBOTZ Leadership Series. We are really glad to have you guys here, and also one of the most amazing personalities, Erin Low. She is a chemical engineer and also a global supply chain leader. She also happens to be a triplet mom, and also she is an advocate for women in STEM and also for working women and parents. So, welcome, Erin. We are looking
Thank you.
forward to hearing your journey, and mostly, we want to start with how everything started for Erin. As a child, how your journey kind of transitioned into being a chemical engineer and then going to become this amazing executive at such a large organization and leading so many amazing people on a daily basis. So we want to hear your story, Erin. What got you here?
No, thank you. And thank you so much for having me. And I'm here to talk about something that I'm extremely passionate about. So I greatly appreciate that. I, so I started as a child with lots of curiosity, and my dad had a love for science and math, and so he instilled that love in me. So growing up, I was always very curious on how things worked, and so that drove me into math and science, into the STEM field. And then certainly as I graduated from college, I did not had no idea that the potential to be in a role that I am in today even existed when I started in chemical engineering. So I feel like the grounding of the boots on the ground, literal boots on the ground inside of paper mills, manufacturing facilities, taught me the fundamentals of process, of chemistry, and what we do in a business, and then moving into supply chain, taking all of those, and then really kind of sparked my curiosity from to learn sort of the end to end process of what we do in the organization. Yeah.
Wow. And I'm sure it's taken a lot of effort and a lot of like deliberate decisions and a lot of sacrifices in order to get to where you are. Essentially, my next question is around what does a day in life look like for Erin? You have so many things. Obviously, you are a triplet mom, a lot of responsibilities at home. And I've seen some of the articles you're writing, and it's very inspiring how you're managing work and personal life and be able to push forward on a daily basis. So I think our audience would really love to hear what does a life look like to you on a day in the life look like for Erin, and how do you manage all that, and maybe like give us some insight on that.
No, sure. Well, I start my days very early. So I live on the West Coast, and a lot of our meetings are on the East Coast or in other regions. And so my morning will start between 3 and 4 a.m. And I know that sounds crazy, but it actually works out really well. So, 3 and 4 a.m., I can get on calls. I work for several hours. Then my husband gets my kids up, gets them ready for school. They might come in my office while I'm on a conference call, and I might braid some hair before they head off for the day, give my kids a hug so it allows me to see them in the morning before they head off. And then my day is really consists of meetings about strategy and what we're trying to go execute as a business. So whether that's working on our S&OP process, that's working on integration, standardization for how we execute in supply chain. Those are the things I focus on, along with meetings with people, coaching sessions. I love interacting and building relationships with people, so I spend a lot of time on that. And then at the end of my day, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, my kids get off the school bus and I get to see them and spend time with them. So that schedule, even though it sounds a little bit crazy, it actually works out quite well for me.
That's very nice, actually. So you planned your day in a way where you can have both the sides of the world. So that's really amazing. And also, message to the husbands: please support your wives, definitely. So, Erin, the other thing, what we are seeing a lot of disruption in the global markets, a lot of changes coming in with AI, and also, after COVID, the supply chain in general has disrupted. Everything is kind of in a state of flux. You are kind of dealing with these on a day-to-day basis, right? And also, like in your role, there are many new organizations that you have to deal with, etc. So we would love to hear like how, what is your perspective on what's going on right now and how you're dealing with that.
Yeah, I think a supply chain has always been a little bit chaotic, and I think I find love in the chaos, right? Trying to build find solutions to go solve problems. That's what engineers do, right? So I think that's supply chain really suits me in that way. There's certainly a lot of disruption going on. I think even from a technology perspective, and what does AI bring to the table? And AI, I'll geek out on for just a minute. I'm fascinated by AI and how we could use that to leverage what we do every day and make things better in what we do every day, so we can focus on the things like strategy and people and driving change, and use AI to support all of those those actions that we're taking in supply chain. So for me, the challenges equal fun, right? That excites me, and it gives me something to look forward to. It's constantly a puzzle to go solve, and how do we do it better in the future, right?
Wow. So I think it's a very clear message again, for me, and also I believe for our viewers. Hey, let's take on the challenges. Let's not shy away from the challenges. Erin is every day showing us like how she's dealing with the challenges, right? And that's where the success lies. And what I also heard from Erin is that she's loved to take the challenge and solve the challenge, right? So I think that's one of the key things. Now, Erin, coming back to the young professionals, who are listening to this, as a person who's grown from the ranks, like really starting off at the very junior levels in the organization and going all the way to this senior role and managing all these complex things. What would you like to share from your life with the young professionals? What are the 2 to 3 things that you want them to take it from this podcast? That hey, these are the 3 things you keep in mind and for your success. So, what would your message be for the young people who are watching?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think I would say curiosity is number one. So always be curious, right? Because that then drives to go find problems, solve problems, always to be curious in anything. And then not being comfortable is another one. So get comfortable being uncomfortable, if that makes sense, because that's where growth happens. I have never, if someone came to me, I'm in a role, and someone came and provided an opportunity to do something more. Yes, that means more hours. Yes, it means stepping into something I don't necessarily know how to go do, but have the trust in myself that I can learn, and push myself to be uncomfortable really helped me to take on more responsibility, build trust with other people, that I could become a trusted advisor, and that led me to my next roles. I think once we get uncomfortable, that's where growth stops, or what we get comfortable is where growth stops. So constantly driving yourself to push farther than what you're, so saying yes and pushing yourself farther. And I think one more, which is really important to all of this, is the people aspect, and building relationships, building trust, having empathy. That has helped me. Building my network has really helped me along the way. So throughout my career, maintaining those relationships, because another problem comes up and I'm like, hey, I know who can help us solve that problem, right? And I know where to go, who could potentially help me to go solve a problem, whether that's a network that I have within the organization or outside of the organization. Certainly building those relationships, I think, are really critical. So curiosity, being uncomfortable, and saying yes to things that stretch you, and the building relationships.
No, totally, very, very practical advice. So definitely we'll keep this in mind. Networking, definitely teamwork and collaboration gets us there. Being curious and taking on new challenges in those uncomfortable situations. So really amazing. Like thanks for the time, Erin, and thank you so much for the discussion. I feel like our viewers are going to gain a lot, and we're looking forward to more interactions with you. And our the webinar and other things we're going to be like talking to our teams, etc. But thank you so much for being with us today. So really appreciate it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but thank you for being inspiration for others, and we look forward to continue to learn from you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.